You know your body is made of light, of waves. There is little or absolutely no physical matter to your body. So let your body evaporate now. Just let it be part of this space around you. Melt yourself into that space with each breath. All time and all space are the same thing, and they are both nothing. So as you melt into that space, you dissolve and disappear. And you are nowhere at no time. But you are all time and all space. You are the flowing presence of the creative energy, of that creative wisdom and frequency that we call God, flowing through you as you. Let go of everything else. Let go of the body. Let go of the mind, the ideas, the beliefs, the opinions. Let them all go. They have no place here. Just disappear with each breath. And now you're drifting through endless space. And you know that the space is not empty. The space is filled with grace, with a presence. And in that presence are all those people whom you've ever loved and lost. And they've gone nowhere. They're right here, right now, around you. You have 5,000 grandmothers and 5,000 grandfathers all around you, holding you. And this current of light, this current of love that is God, is all things for all time. And nothing that has ever been can no longer be. Which means all people of all time are all here. And they see you and they know you. They is actually it, the great presence. Holding you, guiding and loving you. Healing you. And all you have to do is stop thinking. Just go up out of your body into your higher mind. Go out of your body into the mind of eternity. And stop thinking, and just observe. And you will know that you have never been alone. You are blessed, and you are being held in the eternal heart of all universes, of all wisdom and all intelligence, as a precious child. So breathe gently and flow gently on the stream of love, and let yourself feel the love. Feel the love flowing through you. You are loved. You are blessed. You are safe. You are free. You are safe. You are safe. Being held in the arms of grace. You are safe. And your body is completely well, completely well, completely well. Your body is completely well. Your body is completely well right now. Your love, you are joy. You are peace. You are peace. Very gently and graciously drift back to this group. But please don't leave this beautiful, beautiful self behind. Come back as you truly are. There's no hurry. Take your time. Thank you, my dear ones. So, before we go any farther tonight, who would like to share about the meditation, about your experience, about miracles in your life, about whatever? Who would like to share before we get started? Just go down to the reaction button at the bottom of your screen, and when you click that, you'll see a hand at the very bottom that says raise hand. Just raise your hand, and Janet will pull you right in. Nobody, huh? Okay. Forward we go then. Forward we go. Um, this this chapter was about the higher mind. And as you can tell by reading the chapter, I'm pretty fond of the higher mind. And the higher mind is a part of the chakra system. And I want to say that, and then I want to adjust that for you because you're all advanced students. You're not 101 students. You're all advanced students, and you need to know that in the body, as you saw in an earlier chapter, as each chakra was developing, so was that part of your brain developing over millions of years, very, very gradually. Those two coordinated with each other so that the wisdom of your body and the intelligence of your brain harmonized with each other. It was most profoundly seen in the development of the heart chakra and the limbic brain. Because with the limbic brain, we began to see, because at first there was just the little knob on top of the spine, which is the reptilian brain. And then as the limbic brain adjusted above that, the heart chakra began to open. And then at that time, and like I said, it didn't happen overnight. It was, hundreds of thousands or millions of years. But people began to really see that sunsets had a color, that flowers touched them in a certain way, that the crying of their child, rather than irritating them, called them to the child to pick that child up and hold them. And there was this thing called compassion and love and art and music and light dancing on the ripples of the water. And all of those things became aware, and art began to be born, and people began to write and to draw things on cave walls. It was just a beautiful time. But as the brain continued to develop, so did the chakras continue to develop. And so when we're in our crown chakra, we are actually in the cerebral cortex, that large intellectual computer-like brain that rests over the top of the limbic brain, and then above that is developing, I believe, a new brain called the neocortex, a new brain that is being coordinated with the development of the higher mind. But the higher mind, it's easy for me to call it the 8th chakra, and I do call it the 8th chakra, and I'll talk to you about it being the 8th chakra. But as I talk to you about that being the 8th chakra, you have to understand that beyond the top of the brain, there are no longer level. Janet, can we see that slide, and I'll talk a little bit about that. So as you can see, we'll go back to get to that chakra, those chakras here in just a second. Just as you can see, like here are all the chakras, and then there's a chakra called the star chakra. And the star chakra is actually the higher mind. Now, when I discovered the higher mind, I had no idea anyone else had ever found that. I mean, how noble of me to think that I had discovered something that out of the trillions of people who have lived here before never saw. But the star chakra is, by all of the teachings of the great meditation leaders and the masters of the East and all of the great meditators, the star chakra is actually the soul. It's actually the presence of the soul. It's the presence of God in connection with us. And I think that's right, because that's certainly what I feel when I'm in my higher mind. But you see, each of these chakras is a level, this level, and the brain is developing as these chakras develop. The brain's developing. And so that we get up to the crown chakra, and we're all out of development, and then we move to that next chakra, and now there's a whole new kind of intelligence growing here, a whole new kind of wisdom. And will that actually be a physical brain? We could ask Dr. Robertson, who's with us tonight, if that new level will be a brain. And in fact, I'm going to ask him in just a minute, but for right now, just know that when you go up here into the star chakra, you're no longer in this chakra system, and you're no longer in your body. You've taken your consciousness out of your body above the top of your head. Now, does that mean that you're across the room looking back at yourself? No, that you're on the ceiling looking down at yourself, as people do in past life or in near-death experiences? No, you're totally aware that you have a body. It's just that you are above your body. I'll tell you what I did with one class, is that I went and got helium balloons. And I put double stick tape on all of them. And then while they were meditating, I went around and popped one on top of each of their heads. So each one of them had a helium balloon stuck to the top of their head with double stick tape. And then I asked them to just meditate into the balloon. Well, it was real easy for them then to go to their higher mind, because they were just meditating into the balloon. And of course, there's nothing there, but they came up out of their bodies. They came up out of that consciousness. Rick, would you mind unmuting yourself and talk to us just for a minute about whether or not when we go to the higher mind, are we creating a new brain, or what's going on there?
Okay, am I unmuted now?
You are.
Okay, great. Thank you, Bob. Short answer, I don't know. But when I think about this, is the brain has been evolving for hundreds of millions of years in us vertebrates, and the higher brain now, the neocortex, is still, evolution is an ongoing process. It's an ongoing growth process of adapting to fit into the world in which we live. And it's not fast. It's certainly not fast. I mean, so what will happen in the future? I don't have a crystal ball, and I can't tell. But what I can share with you is what I feel when I go to that higher mind, and what it gives me is a new and a broader perspective, that I see things more clearly and better than I do when I'm in my neocortex, visual cortex, prefrontal cortex, all this stuff going around. What I see is I can see the larger picture. And Reverend Bob, this is what I really value with this, that you're not talking just some airy-fairy stuff here. What I am getting out of this is a really practical means of how to deal with this world. And from my view, and I think many people here would agree with me, that we are living in a challenging world now. I mean, there's these crazy viruses which are also constantly evolving and mutating. We have got this crazy situation with Russia and Ukraine. And when I count on my brain, it's easy to get scared. And when I stop and meditate and I go up to that, doesn't give me all the answers, but it reminds me that this is all handled. And that what it helps me when I try to avoid the fear, when I think about the Russians and I think about the virus and think about these, and I tend to get scared, and then it's easy to draw away, and that's when I get into trouble. But if I can go up there and I can see these issues, and I can see what was a fear, I can see, yeah, I'm solving this all alone by myself, but I can see a path, and I can see that I'm a part of the solution. For me, that's the higher mind. That's a gift from God. Whether that will somehow result in an extra layer of the neocortex or not, I don't know. But if I'm around in 5 million years, I'll come back and do an MRI of the brain, and maybe we'll figure it out.
I have one. Thank you, Rick. I have one final question for you, and that's that when you, Dr. Robertson, when you are in your higher mind, you've said that you feel I'm going to juxtapose your words. You've said that you feel more balanced, safer, and more at peace. Do you also think that you're making better self-guidance decisions from that place?
Absolutely, yes. I think so, because I can see things from a broader perspective, and I'm not swayed by that temporary fear that comes up, or that anxiety. Yeah, I can see things, and it's I don't know whether it's a neuropsychological process or a spiritual process. That's why I'm here. I want to learn about this stuff, and I learn from you, and I learn from the group. But I think what I do have is a broader view, and I can integrate more aspects of reality, if it's reality.
Thank you very much, Rick. Thank you. So let me run through the chakras. This higher mind is, by some Buddhist cultures, called the Bindu chakra, and the Bindu chakra is a point of a dot from which the energy flows throughout the body, the point of our body where all our physical, emotional, and spiritual feelings converge. The eighth chakra is located a foot or so. This is from all the people that I read about, because, like I said, when I found the higher mind, I had no idea that it had been found thousands of years before, and it was being called the Bindu chakra, or several other different kinds of chakras. But that eighth chakra is, according to, and this is interesting, and I want you to really get this, is according to different scholars, different meditators, different gurus, is some say that the eighth chakra is located a foot, or I'm reading now from what I read, a foot or two above your head. Above each crown chakra, it's the chakra of divine love and spiritual compassion. It also holds all your habitual patterns of energy you've clung to lifetime after lifetime. That's one. Another one says, the eighth chakra is located 24 inches, 61 centimeters above the crown of the head, and functions as the energy epicenter of the entire chakra center system. The purpose of this chakra is to protect the physical, emotional, and spiritual body, also known as the aura. It serves as the root of all divine energy and compassion that course through the system. Another one says, the soul star, or eighth chakra, is located about a foot, 12 inches, or 304.8 millimeters above the head. Some say that the soul star is is closer to the body, while others located about 3 feet, 1 meter off above and around the body. All agree that it lies above the crown or seventh chakra. Hence the reference to the number 8. The eighth chakra is our connection or our gateway to the broader universe, the cosmos, or all that there is. It's the seat of our subconscious mind and interplays with our dream space. So you can see that there's kind of some different ideas about where this is located. And it's important that you know that these different, very high level spiritual leaders are all talking about it's in different places above the top of your head. What I want us to get tonight is that it doesn't matter. It's 1 mile above the top of your head, or it's all space from the top of your head to the moon. It doesn't matter how far or lower it is above the top of your head, because once you get above the top of your head, you're in space, and space and time are constant. There is no level of space. Space doesn't have levels. When you're at the top of your head, you can allow yourself to be completely in the universe if you choose, or you can just stay in a little light bulb place above the top of your head. Totally up to you. One of the things that I love to do is go into my higher mind, and then when I'm securely in top of my higher mind, I flare it out like an umbrella and bring it all the way down around my whole body, so that I'm like in a cocoon of that blessed light. Now, we're busy tonight. I've got a lot to do, and so I want to tell you that if you have a question or if you have a comment, please go to your. I'm not going to ask you because I've got a lot to do. So if you have something, please go to your reactions and put a hand in there, and then Janet will call on you. For right now, I want to do something different. What I learned now, I've told you this before. I want to emphasize it. I never cared much for jazz. I mean, I'm an ex-professional singer. I love country and western. I love rock and roll. I love classical music. I love opera. I love soul music. I love any kind of singing. I love it all. I just never got jazz. Just never got it. Until I was in my higher mind, and I was driving down the highway one day in my higher mind. And incidentally, when you drive in your higher mind, you're a very, very good driver. You know why? Because you're right here, right now, and you're observing everything. I'm in my higher mind driving down the highway, turn on my car radio, and it's on a jazz station. What happened is that, now pay attention to this, because I'm going to move my camera so you can see this. I'm above the top of my head in my higher mind, and I'm driving down the road, and the music comes in, and the music is coming into my higher mind as though I have ears in my higher mind. It's coming into my higher mind and then down into me. The experience was unbelievable. Now I can make up something. It sounds like I know what I'm talking about, and tell you that what happened is that music harmonized and integrated all my chakras. I don't know what the hell happened. All I know is that when I bring that down into me, it is like electric in my body. So in a minute, I'm going to go there, but I see a hand up, so I'm going to take that right now.
I'm just going to unmute Nancy.
Can you hear me okay now?
I can, Nancy. Hi.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm very excited to find out that the eighth chakra is called the star chakra, because in my meditations, I always bring down from high above the universe a special star that goes in through my crown chakra and lights up all my other chakras to find out if I'm clear, and just blows away any dust or any darkness or anything. And as well as I take the energy from deep within Mother Earth and bring it up into my heart chakra. So I had 6 events happen today, and only one of them, it was funny because I just went into that higher space and nothing frazzled me, and I got everything done. My fridge was leaking. Oh, well, I'll just mop it up. The TV was off channels and everything. Oh, well, I'll just phone Telus and he fixed it for me. And the painter guy came, and there was just insurance companies phoning, and it was all done with such ease. I'm thinking, wow. So thank you for calling it the star chakra. It makes it even more special for me.
Perfect. Perfect. No accidents. No
Nope.
accidents,
Oh,
Mandy. Anne, dear Anne, you got her.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I just wanted to share that I took this kind of interesting photographic memory reading course once, and what you did they said, if there's any takeaways from this course at all, we want you to remember this one thing, and that is to every time you begin to read, take a tangerine in your mind, just bring it close to your nose and scratch it at it and smell that sweet tangerine smell. And then place that tangerine just a little bit like a foot off your head, the top of your head, with your eyes closed, and just breathe in that scent and just picture that bright, bright orange tangerine on top of your head. Take a few deep breaths and then begin reading. And when you read, you will absorb all the material. Like, you just kind of squint up your eyes a bit, and you just kind of flip through the pages, flip, rhythmically flip, and it just goes in. And it was really interesting technique. Yeah, so I guess that's how it's done.
So you're not having a hard time getting into your higher mind at all, are you, Anne?
Yeah, no, it's the tangerine technique.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Bob, we need you to move your face up a little bit. We're losing you.
I know. I need to do that because I'm working on my higher mind.
Okay, I get it. Okay. So we've
So-
got, and anyone else?
Okay, let's move on. So what I want to do is I want to play a little jazz music. And what I want you to do is close your eyes and breathe and put the tangerine above your head if that's what it takes. And then I want you to go into your higher mind, and I want you to hear that music as though it's flowing over the top of your head, and put your consciousness up into the music up here, not down here, up here. And just stay up in the music and let it pour then down into you. Just if it doesn't work exactly for you, don't worry. You can't try. I got to tell you that you cannot try. Trying won't work. You have to let it happen. So everybody just relax. I'm going to disconnect my microphone because I can't play music when my microphone's on. So I'm going to disconnect my microphone, and we're just going to have you please go into your meditation. And now let me see if that worked for you, if anything happened. If you were able in your higher mind to actually go into that place of ecstasy and bliss, if you felt that vibration in a really wonderful and powerful way, then go down into your reaction button and hit a hand down there. Let us know.
We have Shirley up.
Shirley.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, dear.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I definitely felt the music up here, and there was lots of peace. It was peaceful. It wasn't, I don't know that I felt bliss. It was just very peaceful. And what was going on is, as the music was going forward, the notes were going through my crown chakra into my body. I found that bizarre, but it was like, oh, so that's me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Kayla.
I've been using your music because you had suggested this to me earlier in the week to use the jazz music. And so I was playing the jazz music this week while I was painting and channeling some of the colors and everything coming through. And it was really amazing. I would go into my higher mind and then play the music. And tonight, like as Shirley was saying, it was like I could feel the notes just dancing in my soul, almost coming down. When I was painting this week, I was trying different musics, and my grandson's a cellist, and so I got to love the cello. So I was listening to Yo-Yo Ma playing while I was painting, and it was really quite amazing to experience that as I was just letting go. And what I found was that when I would go into my higher mind, what it helped me to do was to not have the anxiety that nothing will come through, or, there was anxiety about it. And just, I felt like the colors and everything were at a different level, just because of that, the infusion of the music. So.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kayla. Beautiful, beautiful. And as always, your artwork is breathtaking. Thank you for that.
Okay, thanks.
Got Dee and Brian up now.
Oh,
Dee.
well, hello, Bob and
Hi.
everyone. So I found that very interesting because jazz irritates me. Like it really does. It's always really irritated me. And I think because in my lower mind, I couldn't put it in a box, like it wasn't like just the same every chorus. And so it used to really irritate me. And I'm not sure if it still irritates me, but during that experience, it didn't irritate me, so I ended up being in that right here, right now, listening to it. And I felt myself wanting to kind of dance and like move with it. So interesting. So I'm just sharing it as I just experienced it, because usually jazz for me is quite irritating, but I just realized I'm listening to it with a different part of my mind.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. You said that so well, because what happens, in my estimation, what happens is that when for me, the great lover of music, listening to jazz, it doesn't fit, it doesn't have an order, it just kind of bounces all over the place. But when I went into my higher mind, after my first few experiences with jazz, what I began to realize is that that's true. It doesn't have any special organization. It's free-flowing channels of light and experience and expression. And because of that, my logical, intellectual mind wants it to be, look, it starts here, stops here, goes, it repeats, there's four measures, and then those four measures repeat, and then it moves down a half note and repeats, and it doesn't do that with jazz. Jazz just does what it does, And so I realized that that's my soul. My soul isn't in a box. Me as a spiritual being, I'm not in a box. I'm not locked up in this, it's this way, and then it's this way, and then it's this way. I'm just kind of drifting around. And so this is a way of being set free in a sense.
So Bob, I think before we go to breakout, Victoria has a check mark here.
Okay.
Victoria,
And
did you
then
want to say something?
and then right after her, we're going to go to our breakout rooms. Victoria, where are you?
Oh, I was trying to remove my hand and I didn't know how to do it.
I'm
I can
sorry. You bought the vase.
I don't think I've ever really listened to jazz before. Maybe a little bit like Dee, I just didn't think jazz was my thing. And it was such an amazing experience. My heart just expanded. Tears and just the incredible creative complexity of it. It was just amazing. So thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. Thank you. Go, Janet. Will you send us off to study? Oh, you guys are going to have 25 minutes. Wait a minute, 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, you're going to have 25 minutes. Okay. So welcome back. Thank you. Thank you so much for your good work in that exercise. I want to talk to you just a little bit in the time we have left about the higher mind and the triangle, because the strongest part of our class has been the triangle, has it not? And we're learning about the triangle. So is the higher mind a completely separate thing? Is it completely different? Are there two separate disciplines? I think not. See, on the triangle, on the lower left-hand corner of the triangle, B is rest. It says, be quiet, be still, and know who you are. That's the B. Be still and know who you are. B is rest, which is the key word for the word restoration. Be quiet and let your inner doors open to a higher consciousness. There it is. Be still and know who you are. Be quiet and let your inner doors open to a new higher consciousness. So that's why the higher mind is so important when we work the triangle. Because when we come back to B, we need to be able to open those doors that of our ego and allow the higher consciousness to come in. When we go up that triangle, when we go climbing up that triangle, we get up to the top, and that's do, isn't it? Do is change. Dare to change, dare to grow. That's do. And trust that nature, trust that change is nature flowing like a river. It's nature flowing like a river. That's the whole weaving of the tapestry of reality for eternity. There's not one thread in the tapestry of all universes in all space and time. There's not one thread that doesn't have a purpose in that tapestry. Each one of them has a reason for being there. And without that one thread, the tapestry falls apart and there is no tapestry. So because each thread, hear this now, each thread contains the entire tapestry. That means that you, dear heart, contain the entirety of the eternal creative presence we call God. And our work together here and at church on Sunday is to get finally your ego to stop resisting and accept and rely on the fact that you are change. You are nature. You are flowing like a river. So that's the higher mind, is it not? And have, so we come down to the bottom of the triangle on that side, and have is win. Accept your deserved joy. Be grateful. And so that's, once again, the opening of the doors to allow that higher vibration, that higher wisdom, that higher presence to be present inside of you. Oh, we have a lot of work to do. I mean, you do and I do individually, because we have to stop that stupid game that we play with ourselves that we're not worthy. Or that if I so aggrandized myself as to say that I am a perfect child of God, wow, what an egotistical statement that is. No, it's an egotistical statement to say otherwise. The ego is what tells you you're not worthy. Your ego is what tells you you're not God. And then you go across the bottom through self-love. I am loved, I am blessed, I'm safe, I'm free. You go across the bottom into of self-love and back into win. And back into rest. And then you expand into even a higher consciousness. You expand even to a higher consciousness. So each time you go around the triangle, each time you continually grow, such that every experience of your life, no matter how small, putting on your socks, brushing your teeth, making love, making breakfast, going to the bathroom, every experience of your life is a step in spiritual growth if in fact you take it in the right way. But if you're just kind of numbly going through life, oh, da-dum, here's another day, it's another, then of course they aren't steps in growth. But then if they're not steps in growth, what are we doing here? What's our purpose in being here if we're not here, if we're not growing and growing spiritually? But if you use the triangle and your higher mind in coordination with each other, then every single thing that you do is a step into spiritual growth. Because when you're in your higher mind, and you read this in the chapter, when you're in your higher mind, there are no old experiences. When you taste a strawberry, it's the first time you've ever tasted a strawberry. And when you look at a sunset, it's the first sunset you ever saw. Because there's no memory in your higher mind. There's only the observation of is right here, right now. So is it a really important thing for us to work to get to be in our higher mind? Yeah, you bet. You bet. Okay, dear hearts, let me talk to you about a couple of things. Number one, there's an offering.
Do you want to talk about the homework first, Bob?
Sure, I can do that. Do this. Practice being in your higher mind, please. Please. And if you say, well, I just don't have time to meditate, I'm not talking about meditating. I'm talking about being in your higher mind. I'm in my higher mind right now. You can be in your higher mind wherever you are, whatever you're doing. And when you're there, then the channels of the eternal wisdom are flowing into you. So practice being in your higher mind, please, 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 please. I have a dog in this fight. I have a horse in this race. I'm personally invested in you getting this, because I need you in this ministry. I need powerful leaders. We're expanding Unity of Vancouver as a spiritual center all over the world. We need powerful leaders. So I need for people to stop dragging their knuckles and stand up. Practice being in your higher mind. Please read chapter 10. Last chapter of the book. I think you'll enjoy it. Real easy chapter. And then we'll talk about that. Then we're going to have, that'll be next week. And then we'll have 1 week after that. And it'll be kind of a wrap-up week. So, and then that'll be the end of this series. And then we're going to do something a little different. Still be the triangle still be the same kind of work, but it'll be a little different. That we'll do it after this break is over. But anyway, we've got 2 more weeks, so stick with us. But remember that on Sunday, boy, I've got a great message for you. Creating self-assurance. You think self-assurance is the same as self-confidence? Oh, you're going to find out. It's pretty exciting. So make sure that you join us Sunday for creating self-assurance. And those of you that can come in person, please come in person. Those of you that can't come in person, make sure that you jump in on Zoom or on YouTube. Thank you.